Yo, what's good, Sixer Nation? It's DFJ Hoops here, back again with another live stream. Hey, we got some Sixers content here today. We got something Sixers related that we got to talk about. Over the past few weeks, I've been focusing on the playoffs and not really Sixer content related. But today, we got something Sixers related. So we got to talk about it. Salute to the people in the chat. Salute to my guy, One Mike in the building. Appreciate you. Says salute. Salute to my guy Humble 420. Drop a like coming in here, fellas. Yeah, appreciate you, Humble. Appreciate you. Yeah, smash that like button as y'all in here. Um, but before I get into the Sixer topic, I want to get a few things out the way. First, Cleveland, they better not lose tonight, man. Now, Cleveland, they have a knack for ending their season at home, right? We saw that in 2023 when they faced the Knicks, right? They got gentlemen swept in that game. In that series. And game 5 was on their home floor and they lost. And then last year against the Celtics, game 5 on their home floor and they lost. So now they're down 3-1 to the Pacers. They better win tonight, right? No excuses. Now, Donovan Mitchell he's going to be a game time decision, whatever. Get on the floor. Darius Garland, get on the floor, perform, and make sure your season does not end in game 5. Make sure your season doesn't end on your home floor because it'll be very, very embarrassing for a team to win like 64, 65 games and then you get knocked out in the second round. But yeah, I still have Cleveland in the series. I have Cleveland in this series. I'm not going away from it. Even though the odds may not be in their favor, but I still got Cleveland in this series. Salute to my guy Cheyenne. Appreciate you. Says salute DFJ. Salute. Um, the second thing that I want to say is or talk about is Jason Tatum. Got diagnosed with a torn Achilles tendon. He underwent successful surgery to repair it. So wishing him a speedy recovery. But me seeing that news it really messed me up. It really messed my day up because you don't want to see players go down with injuries like that. So I was really it really hurt me. But wishing Jason Tatum a speedy recovery. And the Celtics are almost likely done. 3-1 to the Knicks. I had the Celtics winning the series, but I don't think at this point the Celtics are going to win. But who knows? Hey, Jaylen Brown might lead them to a 3-1 comeback, and might help them win the series. So I think this could be a point for Jaylen Brown to prove himself and prove that he's absolutely worth the contract that he signed for 2 seasons ago. So Jaylen Brown, this is time. He got to step up and at least push this series to at least 6 or 7 games, and potentially to a series victory. But who knows what's going to happen? I don't think the Knicks are gonna let down. The Knicks have been playing some good basketball, and salute to the Knicks too. Salute to them, playing very, very well, cohesive as a unit, and they're doing everything in their power to make sure they get to the Eastern Conference Finals. In about 25 years, the last time they got to a conference finals was 2000, the year 2000, where they faced the Indiana Pacers. So, they have a chance, they have an opportunity to do something special, and congrats to them. But I didn't like some of the Knicks fans, happy that Jason Tatum went down. Now it wasn't all Knicks fans, right? It wasn't all Knicks fans, but some of them were happy that Jason Tatum went down. Now, when he was going for the ball and didn't get to it, yeah, you'd be happy he didn't get to it because you got a fast break opportunity on the other side where OG Anunoby had a dunk. So, but seeing Jason Tatum on the floor, in pain, and some of the Knicks fans, laughing and happy. That's not really a good sign. That's not a good sign to me. I don't condone that. So if you a Knicks fan, you was happy that Jason Tatum went down. That's low level, bro. That is absolutely low level. But yeah. So tonight, Cleveland Pacers, Game 5. Hopefully Cleveland wins, and then you got the Thunder and the Denver Nuggets, Game 5. So looking forward to both games. But let's switch gears. Let's talk some Sixers basketball. So the Sixers yesterday, went through the draft lottery. Now I saw people doing a watch party, a draft lottery watch party. Now me personally, I don't really care for it. I don't really care because I'm not really a loser. 1 second, y'all. Yeah, sorry about that, y'all. Sorry about that. Cheyenne says, I think the Knicks, Pacers, and Wolves will close the series in 5 games. Possibly. That could possibly happen. But yeah, in Golden State, I mean, I didn't think Golden State was gonna go down like this. I thought with Jimmy Butler, I thought that was gonna be enough for them, but I was totally wrong. But hey, hopefully they can push a game 6, and hopefully we can see Steph Curry out there on the floor. But the Sixers, they get the 3rd overall pick in this draft, which the majority of Sixer fans were not really happy about it because the 3rd pick, you're not guaranteed to get a Cooper Flag. Now, Cooper Flag, we saw Sixer fans throughout the course of the season, trolling, joking around, tank for flag, tank for flag. They put Cooper Flag in Sixers uniforms, Sixer jerseys, putting them around Joel Embiid, Paul George, Tyrese Maxey, and it was just all over the place, right? The Sixers are going to draft Cooper Flag. The Sixers are going to get the 1st overall pick and draft Cooper Flag, but it's not going to be the case. Cooper Flag will most likely get drafted to the Dallas Mavericks because the Mavs got the 1st overall pick. Now, there's conspiracy that, the NBA, the draft is rigged and the NBA purposely gave the Dallas Mavericks the 1st overall pick. I mean, I don't subscribe to it. I don't believe in it. I don't think it's rigged. And I saw somebody put a post together that says when the Lakers trade for a star player, the other team always gets the 1st overall pick for the next season's draft, which I just think it's a coincidence. I don't really think I don't really subscribe to it. Okay, I mean, when Dwight Howard got traded to the Lakers, I don't think Orlando got the 1st pick that next season. Right. So it doesn't always happen. It doesn't always happen all the time. Sometimes it's just coincidence, in my opinion. But, Cooper Flag most likely getting drafted to the Dallas Mavericks. I think the Mavs, they're going to be a very, very good team next season, especially if they get their guys healthy. If Anthony Davis is healthy, if Kyrie's healthy. I don't know when Kyrie returns, but that team is going to be very, very good alongside the complementary pieces, the PJ Washingtons, the Daniel Gaffords, the Derek Lively's, just to name a few of them, right? They're going to be a very, very good team. Now, if they decide to trade that pick for a much experienced player, I mean, it could be a trade in the short term, but long term, I don't think it's going to be a good trade because, I mean, I think Cooper Flag is destined to be a superstar in this league, right? I think his game, like, I don't really watch college basketball, but the small sample size of his games that I've watched, he's a very, very good talent, and I think he definitely has a lot of potential moving forward. So I don't think Dallas should trade that pick. I think they should keep it and see what happens moving forward. Cheyenne, he says it's 100% rigged, especially when you help the Lakers. Pelicans and Mavs won the 1st pick when they traded Anthony Davis and Luka to the Lakers. Did Orlando win the pick when they traded Dwight Howard to the Lakers? I mean, I don't know, but if you can remind me, I don't think Orlando got the 1st pick when they traded Dwight Howard to the Lakers. Right. It doesn't always happen all the time, but yeah. And Shyam, I know where you're going with this, because I was talking to KB, Kobe Bryant film. Y'all should go check him out. I was talking to him, and also alluded to the same thought. But I mean, I don't believe it. I don't subscribe to it. But hey, it is what it is. If you don't have concrete evidence to prove this, then I mean, I can't believe it. Um, but yeah, we're all entitled to our own opinion, so I can see why people are saying that, right? I just think it's a coincidence, in my opinion. I don't think it's it's rigged, but hey, I think these make for great conversations, in my opinion. But as I was saying, I don't think Dallas should trade the pick, right? They should definitely keep him because Cooper Flag is going to be a very, very, he's a big deal, right? He's going to be a very, very good player. Now, like I said, Sixer fans are not happy because they get to draft Ace Bailey. Now, Ace Bailey is projected to be the 3rd overall pick. That's why he was on the thumbnail. That's why, I put him on the thumbnail, put him on the screen right now. But there's a lot of Sixer fans who are not really happy with this pick or with this projection because people don't really believe in Ace Bailey. People are saying that he has a lot of holes in his game. His game is not really suitable for the pros or whatever. Now, me personally, I have not watched enough of Ace Bailey. Matter of fact, I've never watched any of his games. I don't know what his game is. I don't know what his game composes of. I don't know what his strengths and weaknesses are. So, but listening to some Sixer fans, they're saying he has a lot of holes in his game, a lot of weaknesses, and it's going to take a long time for him to, actually develop and, work on his weaknesses and turn them into strengths. And especially at the NBA level, it's not going to be that easy, and it's going to take a lot of time. Now, first of all, when you draft players like this, yeah, you're not expected to go win a championship, right? There's going to be some growing pains. These players are going to take like 2, 3, maybe 4, or even 5 years to become what they're potentially to become. So when you draft these players, you're most of the time you're going off of potential, right? So nobody knows the future. I mean, hell, when we drafted Ben Simmons, we thought Ben Simmons was going to be a very, very good player, in the future. But down the line, we realized that Ben Simmons is a bust, right? He's a draft bust. It is what it is. People are going to disagree with me. I don't care. He's a bust, in my opinion, right? But I think I think the Sixers, as they just got this third pick, I think they should draft Ace Bailey, right? I think they should draft Ace Bailey, and this should be the beginning of the end of the process, right? Now, I don't think Joel Embiid is going to be the player that he once was, even though Daryl Morey and other people in the Sixers organization believe that Joel Embiid could be his MVP self if he returns next season. I don't see it happening, and I'm with the thought that Joel Embiid should be moved in the very near future. I think the Sixers should try to move in a new direction. I think the Sixers, Joel Embiid with his injury history and his contract, is going to be a very, very bad contract in the next few seasons, right? So I think the Sixers should try to move Joel Embiid. They should try to move Paul George and try to move in a new direction, because this team is not going to be good anytime soon. They're getting older and the league is getting younger and younger. So as the Sixers, you should also follow in the same path that the direction of the league is heading towards. You should also try to get younger, right? Because you have old and aging stars. I'm not going to say superstars. You have aging stars, and they keep getting injured, and their play keeps declining year after year after year, right? So I think with the Sixers earning this third pick, I think they should absolutely pick Ace Bailey. Um, yeah, everybody would want a Cooper Flag on their team, but I think they should definitely go for Ace Bailey. Smash that like button as y'all come in. They should definitely go for Ace Bailey, and then you couple Ace Bailey with the younger players that you got on the team, right? The Tyrese Maxeys, the Jared McCains, and the Justin Edwards, Adem Bonus. Just couple them with those young pieces, and then you move forward, right? And then you move forward. Now, when you trade Joel Embiid, yeah, you're not just trading him for any scrub pieces. You're trading him for a very, very good player, a very, very good player who could help you. Who, if you pair with Tyrese Maxey, could be a very good duo in the future, right? So that's how I'm looking at it, and I don't think the Sixers should trade this pick. But knowing Daryl Morey, knowing his track record, knowing what he's capable of doing, Daryl Morey is going to try to trade this pick for a experienced player and try to compete or contend for a championship. That's exactly what he's going to try to do. Now, he did have an interview on 97.5 The Fanatic, and he spoke to those people and said that his plans is to draft this kid and move in that direction, and put this kid on this squad. I mean, the Sixers, and see where they can move forward. But interviews like that, I just take it with a grain of salt, because Daryl Morey cannot be trusted, right? Players have said that in the past, and he might say one thing, and then next thing you know, he's doing the other thing. So at this point, I think that Ace Bailey will definitely be a Sixer. He will definitely get drafted to the Sixers, and I think we should all be prepared for that, in my opinion. What does this mean for Tyrese Maxey, Embiid, Paul George? I think this should mean that the Sixers are getting ready to head in a new direction, and Joel Embiid and Paul George should know that their days are numbered on the Sixers. Now, this is just my opinion. That's how I see it, right? This is just my opinion. This is how I see it. I don't think it's a guarantee that they get traded. I mean, knowing Daryl Moore, he might want to try for one more season and then see how it ends up before making a decision like that. But I'm really intrigued to see who the Sixers actually pick, because we've seen the Sixers, when they had different people in the front office, we saw the decisions they made in terms of players that they drafted and players that they traded for in situations like this. So Daryl Morey never being in this situation before. Daryl Morey has made some good draft decisions, right, in the past with the Sixers. Drafting Tyrese Maxey at 20, was it 21 or 20? Getting that pick and drafting Maxey, that was a good decision that he made, in my opinion. Good draft selection that he made, in my opinion. And then also getting other players on the Sixer team, right? So, he's made some good draft decisions in the past. So I'm looking forward to see what he does with this pick. If he picks Ace Bailey or picks another player, I'm really looking forward to it. The Sixers getting a third pick, that's good. Good for the Sixers, good for the team. I think the Sixers, this might be a new era for the Sixers, and I'm looking forward to it, right? I'm absolutely looking forward to it. Now, I think with this pick too, the Sixers have to approach free agency very, very differently, right? Because you're getting a new pick, right? You're getting this kid, and I believe this kid, if he gets drafted to the Sixers, I think he can definitely learn from the veteran players that we got. I think he can definitely learn from a Joel Embiid. He can definitely learn from a Paul George. Paul George is, they play the same position. I think he's about 6'7" or maybe 6'8", so he can definitely learn a lot from Paul George, in my opinion. So I would love that. I would love to have this kid on the Sixers for sure, definitely. But one last thing before I bring this to an end. I'm not planning to do a longer live stream. I just want to do something short. I think this year's draft, there's not really a lot of big name players as maybe in the past. You'd have a lot of big name players, big name prospects in the draft that could potentially get drafted. But this year's draft is a little bit different. And the only three names that I'm hearing is, Dylan Harper, Cooper Flagg, and Ace Bailey. Now, I don't really know too much about their games, but, from what I've heard, I think these are the top three players in the draft. And these prospects could definitely change any franchise if you draft them and put them on your team. So, me personally, I'm happy for it. I'm happy for the Sixers for getting the pick. The tanking, you got good results out of tanking, right? You didn't fully lose the pick. You got the third pick, and you can potentially draft somebody who can change your franchise in the future. So it's something good for the Sixers. But we'll see how it ends up for the Sixers, moving forward. So they got the third pick. We'll see we'll see who they draft. But appreciate y'all for tuning in. Like I said, I didn't plan on doing any long live stream, but I'm gonna catch you guys on the next one. Peace.